Words by Gary Sigler. The Battle of Armageddon. Just like John the Baptist, we are another voice crying in the wilderness. And there is such a change coming in these days that is just as drastic as it was in John's day, because we have said to people, I know who you are looking for. You are looking for the man of Galilee to come back again to destroy all of your enemies, and usher you into the kingdom where you will live happily ever after. That is not going to happen. The doctrine of the second coming is absolutely an erroneous doctrine the way it is taught today. I will tell you of the second coming. Jesus said, I won't leave you orphans. I won't leave you alienated and separated. I realize the value you have placed on me as a human being. So when I do go away, I won't leave you orphans. I will come to you. And I will no longer just be among you, but I will be in you in spirit. So when he went away, he only went away for about 40 days, and he came back on the day of Pentecost in the Spirit. In fact, it happened before the day of Pentecost to his disciples. In the Gospel of John 20 verse 22, on the very day of his resurrection he came back, out there somewhere outside of them to come again. As long as you are looking for him to come someday, you don't know where he is today. If you don't know where he is today, you will never walk in the kingdom in reality. If that is our reason for living, that one day Jesus is going to come and save us from all of this, we have missed his reason for coming. Do you think he is in the heavens sitting on the right hand of God? Well, he is, but you don't know where the heavens are, because the heavens are a state of being. A state of consciousness, and a state of awareness of being seated with him in those heavenly places. We are now living and ruling from the heavens, and not from the earth. You see, those who are ruling from the earth are still trying to take this earthly image of themselves, and make it more acceptable to God. I tried that way for years. I prayed every day. I read 10 chapters a day. I prayed in the Spirit for at least an hour a day. I did all of those things that I was supposed to do to take this image of myself that was so alienated from God. And make it acceptable, make it more godly. Make it presentable unto God. That is the spirit of Antichrist. It is a hard concept to accept, but if you are taking a human image of yourself and trying to make it into God, that is the abomination of desolation. That image of yourself will never become God. Oh, you can make it better. You can dress it up. You can quit smoking and chasing women. You can go to church, sing and dance, clap, be all you want to be. You can make it better. But you'll still be the abomination of desolation because it is a human image of yourself sitting in the temple of God trying to be like God. Or thinking you can become God. Well, when you realize that all of the old creation Jesus took to the cross and raised us all up as the new creation, then there is nothing you need but the unveiling of who God is in you. You are not just a human being, you are a spiritual being, divinely human. You are God manifesting in the flesh. Now if you say that out of your ego or your carnal mind, that is the abomination of desolation the scriptures talk about. But if the ego or the carnal mind is removed, what else can you be but a manifestation of God? In reality there is only one life in this universe that is real, only one, and that is God's life. The way to discover that this human personality isn't real is to become acquainted with the real you. The essence of his being, his substance within you, and to begin to live out of that awareness. And out of that consciousness, you will then begin to have love for all of humanity. You will then realize that everything that you thought that you were was not real. It really wasn't real. I know that concept is being fought. But if we do not get through that battle, we will always be in a mistaken identity. And we will always be trying to become something with that identity that we already are in our spirit. So we have to lose that identity of being alienated and separated from God. And you know, Paul told the Colossians, that the alienation only took place in the mind. He said, you sometimes were alienated and enemies in your mind by wicked works. Colossians 1 verse 21. But in reality, in your spirit, in the deepest recesses of your being, you are a spiritual being. And we are beginning to learn to live from that consciousness. It can be a very hard struggle with the natural mind. A lot of the saints are going through this struggle right now, trying to discern the spiritual mind from the natural. Do you know what I call it? I call it the Battle of Armageddon. Because it's the last battle that takes place in our mind that destroys all of those concepts of us being just a human being. You see, in the Battle of Armageddon, the spirit within us will war against our natural thinking mind until all of those concepts we have that we have been alienated and separated from God are defeated in our consciousness. The Spirit will war with our natural thinking until we stand as a son of God on the earth living from the mind of Christ. Until we learn how to live fully in the new creation man, we will be in this warfare. The Spirit of Christ within us will never give up on us until every carnal, natural, devilish thought is defeated within us. Now, nowhere have I said in this message that I'm perfectly manifesting Christ in my flesh. My flesh is still somewhat affected by this carnal physical realm. However, day by day and moment by moment I am becoming more aware of the mind of Christ functioning within me. If you come and live with me you will see the love of God manifested in this vessel. You will also see my body, but Christ within me is rising and walking in resurrection life. I do not look at or focus on the weaknesses of the flesh. But my emphasis is always on Christ within me swallowing up death. Until this natural body is consumed by my spiritual body, and then death will be totally eradicated, and I will then have a body fashioned like unto Christ's glorious body. Then the Battle of Armageddon will be finished. Please listen to this song by Linda Musgrove.
And it's deep within, and it's been there all the time. And there is a path that I've never walked, for my eyes have been too blind. Oh, but now is the day, yes, the time has come, and I know doubt that He's taking me back to the place in Him, and it's coming from the inside out. From the inside out, He is cleansing my house. He's removing the tares from the wheat, and from the erasing my bad memories. There is a place, and it's deep within, oh, and it's been there all the time. And there is a path that I've never walked, for my eyes have been too blind. Oh, but now is the day, yes, the time has come, and I know without a doubt that He's taking me back to the place in Him, and it's coming from the inside out. From the inside out, He is cleansing my house. He's removing the tares